Right, welcome along, guys. This is going to be episode 2 of how to go faster in iRacing, right? The beginner's guide, little tutorial videos that I've started doing. So the first one discussed equipment briefly, and on this one I'm going to discuss a couple of things whilst practicing and racing at Road America in the GT4 Michelin Pilot series. So the first thing that I'm going to suggest that you do now, this is one that you might not fancy doing, but it's keep a note, keep a diary of the races that you're doing. So I've started this the past couple of weeks, right, or maybe last week and this week, and I've just wrote down the series that I'm entering, the date, the time of
the track
day,
temperature's decreasing. It's now 24 Celsius.
and the gain or loss in iRating. Safety rating I'm not fussed about because it's erratic anyway, and a lot of it you can't do a lot about sometimes when it's not your fault. So that's the first tip I'm going to give you. Whether you do that one or not is up to you guys. The second one is something I would recommend that you do, as everyone goes off track on screen. Set yourself a little goal, set yourself a little target. So currently I'm 2.4k iRating. When I set myself a goal, I was 2.1k. My goal was to hit 2.5. I have hit it, surpassed it, and then kind of dropped below again when I lost a bit in one of the last races yesterday. That's okay. That sort of stuff is going to happen time and time again, so don't dwell on it. Just move forward. So my goal for today is to get back above 2.5 and hopefully stay there. My goal in this race is simply to get positive iRating. I've not done the GT4s for 2 weeks. I didn't do Sebring because it was in the dark. This may be in the dark as well. I had a little practice, and this may be a night race as well. Excuse me. So, and I didn't do Sonoma because I don't have the track at the moment, and I wasn't going to buy it for a couple of days because I was racing something else, mainly GTs, GT3s. So I'm going to jump into here then, and I'm going to discuss a couple of things while we practice, and then hopefully we'll go into the race and not die. It's a big ask. I'm slow. When this car first came out, I loved it. I'm slowly falling out of love with this car, and we'll discuss why when we get in there. Excuse me, if you see me reaching, I'm just turning the fan on. That's what I'm doing back there, just to stop my VR from fogging up. The reason that I'm falling out of love with this car then is I feel it's very hard to get yourself out of a situation. You can get in a situation very easily, and the back end starts to step out, but there's no catching it once it starts to go, and I don't like that. I like to be able to go beyond the limit and bring it back a little bit. That you can in a lot of these cars. Just getting this aligned probably doesn't feel quite straight on my head. Right, so what I'm going to tell you then, for the beginners out there who are looking to go a little bit faster, which I imagine is anyone watching the video because you've seen the title and clicked on it. So when it comes to your inputs, whether it's braking, throttle or turning the wheel, don't shock the car, okay? This is the biggest tip I can give you if you're starting out. Don't shock the car. If you are coming out of a corner and then you quickly have to get to the other side of the road, brake and turn into the next one. Perfect example is it Okayama in the Mazdas. If you're doing this and you've been a beginner, you've probably done that circuit in the Mazdas. Turn 1, you've got quite a quick right-hander. You run it out wide, you get yourself to the other side of the circuit, and then you quickly go into the long left-hander. So you're on the throttle, you're across the road, you're braking, you're back across, and you're back on the power. And all of that often sends the car into a spin. You'll have found the first few times you've done it, you'll probably span out there, and you just shocked the car basically. There's too much going on. You need to get your car over to that side and let it settle before you brake, then let it settle before you turn, and then let it settle before you come out on the throttle. Obviously there's overlaps between them things. Obviously you can brake and turn and trail brake in, and I would recommend you get that done and learnt that the way to do that effectively as quick as you can, because you get a lot of time. Same on the throttle as well. You'll brake and throttle at the same time as well to try and steady the car. But the inputs have to remain smooth, and if they're not, if the inputs aren't smooth, you're going to shock the car and it's going to react. There's only one thing that can happen, and it can react, and you're going to end up backwards. So, enough rambling.
There's a car approaching. Watch your mirrors. Stay behind the white line.
I'll just take this turn. I'll get out of this guy's way. So my goal here in this race is just to get positive iRating. That's all I want to do. Don't want to push myself too much. Like I say, I've had 2 weeks off this car, and I have to reacquaint myself with how it handles, which isn't great from what I remember. So I'll try and keep my inputs as smooth as I can, certainly at first, while I'm trying to warm the tyres up. Back end trying to step out on me there. So I'm coming from GT3s, which obviously have a lot more downforce. So the more you come down the GT classes, really. GTE, much more downforce than a GT3. GT3, much more downforce than a GT4. So there, the back end's gone there straight away, that guy, and that is going to happen time and time again, and you can't catch it, and that's why I don't like this thing, or that's why I'm starting to dislike it. Now, you get the same on some other cars. The 911 GT3 Cup, for example, that's very difficult to drive, but you can catch that. You feel like you're in control of that. And if you make a mistake, it's, you know, it is your fault. It's not because anything's stepped in. The traction control steps in too much on this, I find. It's my personal opinion. So we'll try and do a couple of laps, get the tyres nice and warm before we start to push. So yeah, there's loads of videos out there on trail braking and weight transfer, but to keep it nice and simple, basically you brake, the nose goes down, you come off the brake and it pops up. You come off the brake slowly and it rises slowly, keeping the weight over the front end, which is what you want to do. Which is why if you watch the inputs there, if you didn't, just skip it back a little bit, have a look at the inputs. I don't just turn in having come off the brake completely. I start to ease off the brakes as I turn in and start to ease on the throttle as I come out. So it's really simple stuff, but if you're like me and you're coming from a different different background on console racing, you probably didn't do that. You probably didn't have to consider that, because you would just brake as hard as you can, turn as hard as you can, and power out as hard as you can. That's all I used to do on project cars, very successfully, but it's just different on this sim. It just didn't suit the way I drove, and I came across from project cars to iRacing with one of my sim racing buddies, and he moved across the same time. Well, he actually moved across a little bit earlier, but he stopped racing it for a while, but he's pretty much full time on iRacing now. And on the project cars, he'll be the first to tell you that I was a bit quicker. I had more pace than him. But when we've both moved over to iRacing, you could just tell that he just gets it more. He's much quicker. He's a much quicker racer than me. And it's probably because his inputs are much better. He's a much more sophisticated driver, I would think. And it's just took me a while to sort of get it, but we are slowly turning the screw now. Our pace is picking up, our consistency is getting a bit better. So I'm just trying to pass that knowledge on for people who might be struggling. So I'm at a couple of laps there. Don't know what our tyres are doing. We'll see what sort of lap time this is.
Alright Duncan, there's a car exiting the pits, heads up. V30.
So 2:22, so obviously there's a lot of time to come off there. That wasn't helpful, but it's okay. Now there's one more thing that you need to do in iRacing, and I haven't managed this yet. I'm the first one to hold my hands up and say I'm rubbish at it. You need to stay calm, don't dwell on things. If you can, disable this, it's not even there, talk button. I've got it mapped to a different button.
The guy ahead has just done a 221.8.
Don't get yourself into any arguments or discussions with people in the race. But I am guilty of that. I think a lot of us are. It's quite easy to get irate and start blaming people. And but it's not going to do you any good. It's not going to benefit you in any way. There's a lot of people off track. So I only hope that I go into a lower split here so I can reacquaint myself with the car in the game in a competitive nature, not have to push too hard. Really struggling through there. There's just no downforce and very little grip on the front end. I think I need to be sub 20s, sub 220s to be any sort of competitive time. I am using a VRS setup like I usually do. The VRS time is a 2:16.5, which is insane. But again, you know, don't chase perfection when you're new to the sim. It's very easy for me to think, right, 2:16.5, I need 2:16.5. I'm never going to get a 2:16.5. So set yourself little goals. This is going to be close to a 2:20. 2:20.4.
You're currently 2.6 seconds off the pace.
Whoops. A little bit wide there, but we've actually come out quicker than we did the previous lap, because remember that guy held us up a little bit. So you'll see there, I was holding my brakes a long way into that corner, and I was putting the throttle on at the same time. So we're trail braking in and I'm applying the throttle at the same time as I'm sort of bleeding off the brakes. It just helps to settle the car. The car gets used to what its job is at that time, I suppose. So yeah, don't spook it. Let the car do the work. Don't overdrive the car. And you'll find, hopefully, that the pace will come. Thanks, buddy. Oh dear. So I was braking and turning there at the same time to try and get the weight over the front, try and get the grip down. So we're almost a second quicker here, and it's by no means a perfect lap. So missed that apex by about half a car's width. Reasonable exit, so we're going to go about a second quicker, so this should be a sub 20, which is what my goal was just there. We'll see how much this moves me up.
14th.
14. So now then, my goal is going to be,
1.6 off the pace.
can I get into the top 10? Not this lap, I can't, because I've just gone wide.
Track limits, they'll invalidate this lap.
I weren't quite up, definitely.
So 2:19.4, so can I get into the 2:18s? Can I get into the top 10? Little steps, set yourself little goals. Obviously this is just practice. So we're going quick, just as the tyres are naturally warming up here, the car is going quicker on its own. I'm not, you know, pushing anything, but the car is going quicker. And when it does, you can just lean on it more, you can lean on it more, you can brake a little bit later. You can get on the gas a little bit sooner. But especially with this car, you can't do it till it's ready. You just can't. Right, that's loads quicker. Hook that apex up nicely. So we actually made, I don't know if I went off track. Oh, I did, didn't I? Yeah, I did. So it's going to be a dirty lap, I think, but so strangely I hit that apex nicely, but then carried too much speed through there, ran off wide. Right up, don't mind that. Right, so we'll try and do one more then. We've probably got time for one more before qualifying, I think. A little bit oversteery there. And again, pushing maybe a little bit too hard there, but going a little bit quicker. So that would be a perfect example of overdriving the car. Rewind that 20 seconds, look at the inputs. I'll have either steered too much, put too much throttle on. Ooh, I was too busy talking there. I've missed my brake marker by 100 yards. So I'll let this guy come back through before I rejoin. I'll get out the way of Keith behind me, so I don't slow him. Oh, slow him down too much. Where is he? Yeah, you go past, mate. So this is a bit of a long-winded video.
The guy behind has just done a 2:19.4.
But hopefully you'll stay with us through, and if it's something that you're looking to do, get a little bit quicker on the sim. Hopefully there's some pointers here that you will pick up and put into practice yourself. But the biggest tip, I suppose, the biggest tip I can give you, which is the one that I don't do myself, is to just stay calm and just let the car do the work. So yesterday I was in an IMSA race in the GT3, closing someone down. And I was closing him probably by about a second a lap. A few laps to go. There was no pressure on me. I was going to get past him clearly. Everything on paper was suggesting that, you know, I was going to walk past him. But I just got too close. and I lost it on this turn. And it was really foolish because I didn't need to push that hard. I was in positive I rating by about 70. I ended up losing 13. Finishing 10th in the pits. No need for it whatsoever. I should have just stayed calm and just continued to let the car do the work and let the race come to me, but I didn't. So that throttle pickup there was nice and smooth after the exit. Same again, and it just doesn't shock the car into anything. It knows what's coming. You've applied a little bit of throttle, the car then settles into that, and then you can apply a little bit more. Same again there, even though I had a little bit of a bounce and the suspension reacted. Car's bouncing about because I didn't just slam the throttle on. Car was able to adjust, and we're not in the wall. So we've got a little toy here from the Audi. Much better through there that time. Right, now this is going to be quick. Go back and watch that lap again. I'm going to, when I finish this practice session, I'm going to watch that lap again. Everything must have been pretty smooth, and I've gained a second there. So 2:18.3.
10th position.
There's my top 10.
Session. You're now 0.5.
Left side. Clear left.
So we'll have a look at that. Now I'm not saying that lap's going to be a benchmark, but it felt smooth at the time. I didn't feel like I was pushing. I was quite calm and in control, and I've done the fastest lap I've been able to do so far.
The guy behind has just done a 2:18.6.
Missed that apex a little bit, but I'm only a couple of tenths off here. So the goal now then is to try and keep this time consistent. Try and keep the inputs consistent, and the time will follow. Now I could not have done an 18.3, was it? I couldn't have done that 2 laps ago. Car wasn't ready for it, tyres weren't ready. Sometimes it just won't comply until it wants to. So we're a little bit slower down here now. We've dropped down to 3 tenths down. Obviously we don't have the tow from the Audi as well. I find myself running a little bit wide there.
Okay, Duncan, you've got half your fuel left.
So we'll see if we go somewhere near. If I can get within a couple of tenths again, then I'll be happy with this.
Our last lap was a 2:18.8.
So we're still in the 18s there. Which is consistent enough, I suppose. We've actually gone a little bit quicker through there that time. A little bit of oversteer again. I think I was just braking too hard, turning too much at the same time. Asking too much of the car, and this is what I'm trying to say. Keep it smooth, don't shock the car. I was a little bit later on the brakes there, but it still felt quite smooth. Wide. Right, wheel on the grass. Killed us.
That was a big one. Are you okay?
Perfect timing. Right, we're going to go and qualify. We've been pushed down to P11 then. That's okay. I'm happy with my 18. So, here we go then. All of this now goes out the window. Can I do it in a race? Probably not. So, let's go straight to the lobby. And we will cross our fingers that we're not in the top split. Because I don't want to be. I don't want the pressure. I would like a nice, easy... Well, not easy. But I would like an easier race. That's what I'm hoping for here. So, third split would be great. Second split would be okay. First split would be a nightmare. And it is a relatively new series, so there's a lot of fast guys doing this. Right then, if you feel like you're getting any value from this video, if it's helped you in any way, or you feel it may be something that you're going to go away and try a couple of things, whether it's keeping the diary, whether it's trying to keep calm, and like I say again, this is something I need to work on myself, because I do find myself getting very irate in these races. Everybody does, but I do lose my temper a little bit. Then if you, like I say, if you are getting a bit of value, if you want to scroll down, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel, I would really appreciate it and do me a massive favour. We are car number 23, which suggests to me this is a higher split. Oh dear. Right, okay then. See if we recognise anyone that I've raced before, so we kind of know what sort of pace to expect. Or what sort of pace to go for. And there isn't. There's nobody I recognise. Never mind. There's also quite a lot of Audis in this. A couple of weeks ago, no one was fancying the Audi. Everyone was just going for the GT4. Obviously, it's a multi-class lobby, this. So, right, what we'll do then is we'll load up our qualifying tune. You guys can't see this. The Race Lab apps should pop up. I actually raced Istvan. I believe it was Istvan from Race Lab apps on Road America yesterday. And ironically, he ran out of fuel. Now Race Lab apps comes with a fuel calculator, I believe. So that was a bit unlucky. Not the greatest advert for his app there, but this is what I'm using. This is what you can see, the overlay. Race Lab apps, it's called, and it's completely free. So if you want to go and have a look at it, you want to download it, stick it on your channel if you're a streamer. Even if you want to just use it, record a video to watch yourself back, I would highly recommend it. Really simple to download and everything. I'm no good with computers, and I was able to do it, so if I can do it, you can do it. So here we go then. Qualifying. What do we think? What should the goal be? I think the goal should be a 218. Now you might think, well, you've just gone a 218, you've just done a 218 with race fuel. Tyres were hot, and that's the difference.
Track's clear. Push, push, push. Okay, Duncan, we've got 2 laps to set a decent time.
Didn't know what I was doing there, trying to shift up using the pit limiter. So yeah, that's the difference. When the tyres are cold, it's very difficult to set them times. But with the lower fuel, maybe it'll balance itself out, I don't know. Which is why that's my goal, 218. So 218.3 was my best time. Now, I know the VRS time was a 216.7. No, sorry, a 216.5. But that was a one-off.
The track temperature is falling. It's now 28 Celsius.
The average lap time of the VRS guy was, I believe, a mid 217. Which, when you think about it, is only 8/10 off what I've just done. Now, if I can stay 8/10 off the VRS guys consistently, then I'm over the moon with that. So there's quite a lot riding on this now. Obviously I've gone through the tips I've given you at the start of the video. We've stayed on board with me through the practice session. You've seen our approach practice with a little bit, pushing a little bit every time, set myself little goals. Now we have to kind of put it all together and hope we don't die. But if we do, that's racing, guys, don't worry about it. Move on to the next one. My results here don't affect how I approach the next race. Everything will be the same. So whether I die or win, this video is getting uploaded. Right, we're going to start our first banker lap. So 23rd in the room, car number 23. So obviously we will qualify above the Audis. I hope we can qualify above the Audis. Braking a little bit earlier there to compensate for the lack of grip, which is huge. So I had to hold the brakes much longer than I would want to there. There's just no grip in the car whatsoever. It almost feels like a different car compared to the one I've just practiced in. But you know, it might be a little bit slow, but we're green. We haven't got any incidents. That's what I mean by green. I don't know why I class it as green and red, because it's not in any way, but it's just what I refer to it as. So I don't know, some of the guys, dear me, some of the guys who were a little bit more confident on their ability to put in one hot lap might spend the first flying lap and their second lap out on the circuit as another warm-up lap. Maybe they use that lap to generate more heat in the tyres, I don't know. Might be a better way to do it. If you've seen that, let us know in the comments. Or indeed, if you've just got a better way of warming the tyres up than I have, I'd love to hear from you. Because I could really do with a bit of help qualifying in this thing. Right, see what that was. Wow, 221.
The lap time was 2:21.4.
See what I mean? Miles away there. Absolutely miles away. Now if there's someone, I mean obviously there will be a lot of guys in here quicker than me, but if somebody can put in a 218 in qualifying, then I need to know what they're doing to get them tyres to react like that, because I just can't do it. Brake markers are the same, my turning points are the same. I've just got to hold the brakes a little bit longer to try and get them turned in, get the car turned in. Apply the throttle a little bit later, so everything's kind of compromised. Oh, got away with it. We're okay, we got away with it. Went a little bit wide there last time as well, so I'll have to watch that in the race. That'll be one of the corners where people will be going wide, I think. Feels like a much better exit, that. Nothing, absolutely nothing there, no turning whatsoever. We were a second quicker though. Second and a half quicker.
The leader's just done a 216.9.
Give over. Here's me complaining about people able to do a 218. A 216.9.
For Hankai, 216.7.
Jesus Christ, lads. Lasses.
The leader has just done a 216.6.
Dear me. That's unbelievable. Unbelievable pace.
V12, you're currently 3.2 seconds off the leader's pace.
So I went a second and a half quicker, give or take. Didn't get any position gain whatsoever. Wow, so this is going to be difficult for me to come out of this with a positive iRating, I think, because I would imagine... Wait, which one do I want here? I've got options, see. And I don't know which one I used previously. Let's go with that one. I think it was that one. So VRS do give you a variety of options.
That's the end of the session. P12.
P12. So we're actually out qualified by one of the Audis. Wow. 216.5. Right, so this is what I mean. You've got to be calm, you've got to be cool, you've got to forget that now, just put it out of my mind. I don't need to be worried about where somebody's getting 3 seconds a lap quicker, because it's clearly everywhere, so I just continue doing what I'm doing. Okay, so we are correctly fueled up for the race. I don't need fuel, I don't need a tear off, and I don't need tyres. Sprint race, no pit stops. So just this little backrest that I've got going on, because I'm getting old. Right, is this a standing start? I can't even remember. Left line, no, so it's a rolling start. Is it a full lap as well? It is. Dear me. Full formation lap then. So I'll have to keep my eye on Klopman then. He's the first of the Audis. He's actually car number 1 in this lobby, so he's obviously very... Let me have a look. He's obviously very highly rated. This is... Jesus Christ. Right. 3.7 I rating. Sorry, 3.7k strength of field. What am I doing in here? I've never seen the 3.7k strength of field in all my time on iRacing. This is ridiculous. So there's not many takers for this race then, clearly, because I should be in a lower split here. Not that I'm complaining. Sometimes it is nice to be amongst the big boys. Now, if some of these wreck each other, we might get lucky, but chances are I'm racing the Audis here.
P12, the track temp is 27 Celsius.
Right, so like I said previously, regardless of the outcome here, this video is going to be uploaded, because the whole point was to help you guys learn a little bit about the car control, weight transfer, all that stuff. If we get a good result, it's a bonus. A lot of weaving. So you can see everyone frantically trying to generate heat. They are that bad. I wonder what they were like on the V6 tyre model, because I believe these are on the V7. Obviously the V6 tyre model used to work better cold. 2:16 though, man. Come on. What chance do we have? I won't be alone in thinking this. There's a few guys around my pace in here towards the back. And whether you're in the top split, bottom split, middle split, you'll always be racing someone. There'll always be someone of your ability right alongside you. You put a foot wrong, they're all over you. They put a foot wrong, you're all over them. This is going to be interesting. Lap 1 through here. I'll be very interested to see who can. Who's got the biggest balls? Place your bets. It's not me. Man will be shrinking back up inside my body on lap 1. I suppose on such a long formation lap does give you the chance to get a bit of heat into these swines. Right then, we're currently negative in iRating. I believe it was about 15, was it? Let's just see what happens there. No pressure. I just would like to get a little bit of positive iRating out of this, that's all.
Are we allowed race the moment it goes green, or do you have to wait until the line?
Go.
Strange time to go. We've got one off track already.
Right side. Hold your line.
See how careful everyone is.
Hold your line. Clear right. Car right. Hold your line. Still there. Hold your line.
We've got one
Hold
off
your line.
wide.
Hold your line.
It's kept speed up luckily.
Still there. Still there. Still there. Hold your line. Clear right. Car right. Still there. Still there. Still there. Clear right.
Wow, no deaths. No deaths. Right then. A very cautious first lap.
There's an incident in Canada Corner. Looks like it's Blanchard.
Right, there's one.
Yellow flag, keep your wits about you, mate. There's an incident in Bill Mitchell Bend. It looks like Bahamkai.
Right. So you guys can see watching the video, I can't see what the overlay will tell you.
Blanchard is closing in. The gap is now
If I'm in
2.1.
positive or negative iRating. Now I know I'll be negative because I've lost
13th
a few
place.
spots,
Push
but I'm
now.
alright with
We
it.
need more
It's okay.
speed. Okay, Duncan, the next car is the Hankai.
So as my car's tyres come up to temperature, I'm more than happy to get stuck in. But on the first lap, I'm not brave enough, I'm sorry.
The gap in front is now
Oh,
1.5 seconds.
right. Wheel on the grass there, and I felt it straight away. Good old trusty Simucube2 Pro there, giving me lovely bit of feedback, letting me know that I'd put a wheel on the grass. Able to correct it. So if you remember video 1, confidence builder. Right, we've got the death. Little lift, see where he's going to go, back on the throttle. It's not worth the risk to just keep your foot planted in situations like that. See where he goes and react when you can, if you can. So yeah, back to the point there about the confidence. In my first video I explain about the equipment for sim racing and what it gives you. Now if you're wondering
The leader has just done 217.3.
why I said what I did in that first video, that explains it. Again, if you skip back a minute, watch me going into that braking zone, watch the car react when I snapped and caught it. I wouldn't have got that in the old Trustmaster. I'd have been in the wall there, I'd have crashed.
That lap time was 221.5. Sector 3 is 2.2 seconds off the pace.
So P12, we're kind of where we started then, which was negative 15, I think, iRating, somewhere like that. It's a long old race, plenty can happen. It's very stretched out. I didn't think it'd be this stretched out so soon, but keep an eye on this gap up front as the tyres warm up.
The gap ahead is now 2.7. Incident in turn 8. We think it might be Blanchard.
It's behind me, so I don't need to worry about that. Nothing again there, so I know the tyres are still not there. They're not ready for me.
Just done a 216.7.
Behave yourself.
There's an incident in Canada corner. It looks like Ruger.
That's behind us as well, don't need to worry about that. So we're just going to have to hope now that some people ahead of me get into a bit of a battle, bit of a
That's
scrape.
your quickest lap in this session.
So we'll see if we can get anywhere near David. It's not a corner I'm fond of, that one. A couple of guys in front which look a little bit close to each other. So that might prove to be a little bit fruity at some point in the race. It's a little quicker, but still
now 3.0 seconds.
Still don't feel quite right. We've gone a little bit quicker than David through there though. Ooh, right, again, rewind it, look at them inputs, because they won't have been smooth. Maybe there was a little spike on the throttle, maybe I kept the steering angle a little bit too great as I applied the throttle. Did I have too much braking applied? Who knows, but there'll have been something, so have a little look. And luckily, again, thanks to the Simucube, I was able to feel that, catch it, stay pointing in the right way.
Sector 1 is 0.3 off the pace. Sector 2 is a second off the pace. Sector 3 is 1.1 off the pace. Remaining, you've got 20 minutes left.
So we're still kind of staying about the same as David, 3.2, 3.3, and I'm not doing my best times yet, so hopefully there's a little bit to come. We might be able to put the pressure on a little bit. But what I would say at this point is remind yourself to stay calm. Remember that you are in a top split, or possibly a split that you're not as comfortable in as you would be normally. And all I've got to tell myself is that I'm doing as well as I can do, really. My time's 2:19.0, they're not a million miles away from my best time. Tyres haven't come up yet, but I don't want to overdrive because they're not as quick as the guys up front. You know, it's like I'm having a kickabout with Ronaldo and Messi. You know your skill level, stick to it, don't push beyond your capabilities. Looks like David's got a little bit of a battle now.
3.8 seconds.
So
the leader has just done 2:16.4.
we'll be getting a little bit of a toe up the hill, which will be quite a big difference. Probably pull out a little bit more of a gap. But we're alright here, 13 seconds behind, there's no pressure coming from behind. I believe we're in the same position we started, so we haven't lost any positions. Looks like David's going side by side there. And again, he's tucked in. Go a bit wide, there's my first X. So we're pretty clean so far.
Just cut the track.
Wasn't even considering that. Only worry about your safety rating when you need to, would be another tip. You can get hung up on that. Unless you're in danger of being demoted, which has happened to me. So I've got a B licence. Here's me telling you don't worry about safety rating. I've had me A license stripped. But I'll get it back, don't worry about it. There's no problem with that whatsoever. That'll come in time. Gap's coming down up front while they're battling then. The other thing to think about in these races is tyre wear. Now a Laguna, which is kind of the only thing I can go off. Oh, I forgot to brake. Thought it was in a GT3 there.
What the fuck?
Right, heart rate's just jumped up a little bit. Yeah, the tyres
The rest
would
of the race is pretty clean.
would kind of come to me towards the end of the race at Laguna, so we might get the same thing here.
The leader's just done a 216.2.
The consistency in these higher splits can be a little deflating at times, so I do make little mistakes quite frequently. Some of these guys don't, and sometimes that is the difference.
Is now 3.6 seconds. Minutes left, that's 15 minutes. Okay,
right,
Duncan,
halfway
come on,
through.
stay focused. Apexes and exits, apexes and exits. That's half distance, the fuel's okay.
Squeeze a little bit harder on the brakes there, kind of mid-corner, mid-braking zone, sorry. Kind of got it a little bit wrong. So I'm pushing a little bit harder now. Now that the tyres should be a little bit warmer. Half race distance. So I've just got to make sure I don't overdrive. That's a problem. Which I am just starting to do. A little bit of oversteer there. Side by side up front. And he's gone wide, so he'll lose a lot of time here. Right, he said thanks. Now, there may have been contact there.
The gap behind is now 13 seconds. That was a 219.1. Sector 2 is 1.3 off the pace. There's an incident in turn 1. Looks like it's gas bar. Yellow flag.
That's another X. That's okay. 2 incidents for the race so far. Not a problem. So Mika then may feel a little hard done by here. The red mist might have fallen.
Gap to Vahamkai. Ahead is now 1.6 seconds.
Lost the gear there on my downshift.
You've got half your fuel left.
Well, that was awful.
Pay attention to track limits, please, Duncan.
Now, that may come back to bite me, that. So, remain calm, I haven't lost a position. Car's reacting funny because it's full of sand on the tyres, I think. Gap 7.5 seconds behind. Don't need to worry about that because we've extended that gap to about 15 seconds during this race, so it's come down because of the mistake. We just build it back up again. We've actually gained a position somewhere because we're P11.
P11.
Okay. Right then, so in my I rating now, in the relatives, I may be close to positive, I may be positive, I don't know. It's unlikely that we're going to gain any more positions on track.
The gap behind is now 8.1 seconds.
There's only 1 second separating David and Mika.
Sorry, Neil, that's still low.
Alright, Duncan, 10 minutes to go. That's 10 minutes left.
7/10 separating them two. Mika obviously feels like he's been pushed off track as well, so is it going to get spicy? Too far away to see. Just keep an eye on it. Still 7/10 the gap between them. So the gap behind's extended a little bit again now, so 8.3, 8.8. .3 to Mika ahead.
Sector 2 is 1.3 seconds off the pace.
I was close to the grass there, it was a little bit reckless. Oversteer. A bit late on the brakes there, but got away with it. Oh, excuse me. So, while there's not much going on track, I'll let you know about my Twitch channel, which is Steelriversounds. If you want to give me a follow on Twitch, I'm live most nights, most weeknights, I do a league race on a Wednesday night with the CXR boys, which is what the logo is. CXR Project Black. Race with them guys in this car actually on a Wednesday night. About 8 o'clock, 8:30 the race starts. But you'll find me online most nights. Oh, right, so straight away there. Am I going to get back on here? Time.
Track limits.
Where is he? He's going that way. How much damage have I got? Right, what I was about to say before I had to concentrate on getting back on track was as soon as that traction control stepped in, the lights went purple. So again, watch back, rewind 30 seconds. The lights went purple and I couldn't steer out of that slide. And now that is what I don't like about this car. I'm assuming you can tune that out.
Come on, mate, we really need to get the hammer down now.
I was unable to there. Now I know I'm quicker than this guy. Because my pace in the race so far has shown that. So I don't need to worry here, no need to panic.
On your right. Hold your line. Hold your line. Still there. Clear right.
Had to snatch an extra gear
Nice
coming
one,
down,
Duncan.
but there's
Nice
no
move, mate.
need to get panicked there. My average lap pace has been enough to pull away from this guy, so now that I'm ahead, just do what you do. Stick to your normal braking zones, don't extend, don't defend.
That's 5 minutes to go, 5 minutes.
He knows what I know. Okay, he knows I've made a mistake, but he also knows I'm quicker, so there's not much he can do there. He's just driving to his ability.
Defend your position.
I'm driving to mine. That's all there is to it.
Alright, Duncan, you've got 10 minutes of fuel remaining.
So he's had a really good run out of there actually, so we may need to think about defending into turn one. But I can still see in my mirror there that I've still got my spoiler intact. I know I went into the tyres and they do come off quite easy then. Same problem twice then that's caused me issues. Right, Mika's got past David while I've been driving off track. So I would imagine that Friedrich behind me is of lower I rating than me. Therefore he may be in positive I rating just by being in that position, as I may be in positive I rating being where I am. He may be much quicker than me. He may have damage to his car or anything, we're not too sure. But I don't think he's probably going to be quick enough that he's going to risk a move to save I rating. And again, that's something to consider. Now if you've got triples or ultra wide or just a regular monitor and you're not in VR and you can see the overlay, then that's an advantage you have over me because I'm not able to.
Incident in turn 14.
Right, I went a bit
Just 2
defensive
minutes
there.
left, 2 minutes to go.
Because he had to, he got a good run on me, so a little bit defensive was required. Doesn't mean I've got to think about it in every turn, so I've got a good exit there. He's 0.5 behind. I'm trying to break the toe a little bit. Unless he gets an overlap, he's very unlikely to make a move.
That lap time was 2:19.9. Sectors 2 and 3 are 0.6 off the pace. Sector 1 is 0.6 off the pace.
So we've had two very good exits there for me. Trying to break that toe again, just having a little weave. I'm not applying much steering, I'm just letting the car sort of drift. Trying to break the toe as much as I can, if at all. On the throttle nice and early.
Good looking out.
There's an incident in Kink.
Right, this is the kink. Can't see anyone. That's Christopher Barrett. So obviously had a little incident there. So he's lost a couple of places there pushing on the last lap. I think it's the last lap.
There's an incident in turn 14. Okay, Duncan, we estimate you've got 5 minutes of fuel remaining.
Maybe it's not the last lap. I can't even remember. Yeah, no, last lap now, okay. So we've got one more. Right, we'll see if Christopher's damaged then. He might be carrying a bit of damage here. We might get lucky and pinch another spot. We have pinched
Your
another
last lap
spot.
time was at 2:19.2. We're running on fumes, mate.
So I don't know why, but we've gained a position. Maybe Christopher came into contact with somebody else who was at to tow. Not the best exit there.
Yeah.
So I've took 2 seconds out of Christopher. Maybe I shouldn't be thinking about this, I need to think about Friedrich. Little bit of a issue there on the exit. Traction started to step in. Struggling a little bit here, I'm losing a bit of time. Lost a bit of concentration. And that's because of the guy ahead.
Push, we can get this guy.
Shut up, Jim. Don't always listen to Jim, he's full of shit half the time. Oh dear, oversteer there.
Almeida is leading the race.
He's all over me, he's got a great exit. I'm going to have to seriously defend here. One more corner, don't panic. Another lap and we'd have had that one, I think. Good race, Friedrich, I'm looking at. P10. Right, am I positive? Am I in positive iRating? You know before me, if you're watching the video.
Okay, it's over.
I'll find out after the race, but top 10 finish in the top split. I didn't mean to flash the lights, I was looking for my talk button. So, results then. 12th on the grid. We've came in across the line in 10th. We were car number 23. Are we positive or not? We're going to quit, we're going to save, and we're going to find out. You already know. So that's one of the reasons why I'm considering the move to an ultra wide or triples. I'm umming and ahhing. I always thought triples, but I've recently seen people with triples move to the ultra wide. So, what do you think? Are you using triples and you would never move to an ultra wide? Have you gone the other way, ultra wide to triples? Let me know. Just wait for this to finish then. While we're doing it, like I said earlier, I'll put it in my little book. So it's the 31st today, I believe. So March the 31st, 2020. Race 1 of the day for me, that. So IMSA Pilot. At Road America. Right. What did we get? We gained. There we go. That's all I wanted. Right. Set yourself little targets. Like I said. Plus 11. Okay, so I'm happy with that. That was my target for that race. To gain positive iRating. Now, I wasn't the quickest in the lobby. In fact, I was one of the slowest. Was it the top split? It was the top split. There's only 3 splits there. So for me to be in the top split with these guys, right, now, speaking of these guys, I could have quite easily gone into there, done my best lap, realised I was 3 seconds off the pole time, and be a little bit disheartened and think, right, well, I need to push. I need to overdrive. I'm not doing something right. I need to brake later. I need to turn harder, get on the gas earlier. When really, you just have to consider who you're racing against. So, Thomas, who finished first, 6,192 iRating. Sasha, P2, 6,548. Swelio, 5,098. Tom, 5,142. Antonio, 3,353. Louise, 5,091. Next one, 3,400, 4,900, 5,200. Okay, then me, 2,400. So everybody who finished above me has got a huge iRating. Massive difference in what I'm doing. Guy behind me, 7,152. Wow. So who was that? Cohen. Okay, he's the leader of the Audis. Who actually lost 19 iRating there. He won his class, but he lost on iRating. Such is the cruel nature of iRacing. Never mind. So that was my little goal, to come out of there with positive iRating. Happy with that? What do you think? Couple of mistakes. Obviously, I drove off the track once, span it once. It's pretty standard for me, that. Did we gain in? Well, we will have done. Gained in safety rating, I think we only. Oh, actually, there might be more than I thought because of the spins. We've gained 11 on there, so 2.78 on our safety rating. So yeah, it's positive. Like, I set myself a little target, and I hit it. But I hit it. That's the main thing. So we'll move on to the next race. I'll probably do the IMSA Sports Car Championship at Spa, I believe. Next one is at 5:45, so we've just missed out on that one. Where are the Porsches then? Let's have a look at the Porsche iRacing Cup that I mentioned earlier. Tsukuba. Probably give that a miss. I'm not familiar with the track. I've not raced it once on iRacing, so I'm not going to join it. It's as simple as that. If I go into there, it'd be foolish. In a car that I'm not that comfortable in, on a track that I've never driven, surrounded by probably a similar type of driver I've just been around there, out of my league. So, I'm happy with that. So hopefully then, as long as this video is, hopefully you've stuck with it, you've took some value from it, and you can apply some of these things that I've talked about in your own racing. So I'll try and summarise if I can remember. The first thing that I would suggest somebody does if they're new to this thing is keep a diary of your races so you can look at it. So if I look at the last 2 pages, let's say, the last race I gained 11. Before that I lost 13. Before that I lost 85. Before that I won 18. I gained 18. Gained 48. Gained 50. Gained 78. They're all in the IMSA AMG GT3, by the way. Same car, same result. High iRating gain. Because I'm used to it, because I'm used to that car. And I know the track. Negative 29, Porsche iRacing Cup. Gained 34, lost 9, gained 16, gained 27, gained 22, lost 12. If you probably add them all up, I've probably come out on top there, them couple of pages. And I know that most of them losses were in the Porsche, this Porsche here that I'm looking at on screen. Most of the gains were in the GT3 Mercedes. So, goes without saying, race what you're comfortable, and the rewards will come. So yeah, that's number 1. Diary. Keep a diary. Keep a note. Even just check it on iRacing if it's easier for you. Number 2, be aware of weight transfer. Be aware of that movement in the car. Let the car settle before you ask it to do the next thing. Let the car do the work. Same kind of thing as step 2, I suppose, really. Let the car do the work. The race and the pace will come to you. If your car's nice and settled and your tyres are in the window, then, you know, your pace will come. Your pace might not be their pace, but it's the best you can do. It's the best I could do there. 3 seconds off the pace, but I've got my little goal out of it. I've gained iRating. And then step 3, which I did do, I'm happy with that. Stay calm, right? Stay calm during the races. If you make a mistake, regroup, collect yourself, move forward. Don't worry about it. If you were ahead of someone in the race previously, you probably got the pace on them for the rest of the race, unless you've picked up damage, of course. And if you are gaining on somebody ahead of you, don't do anything different. Just stay calm. Let the car do the work. Okay? Right. So again, if you have taken value from this, if you like the video or any of that, if I've helped you in any way, or even if you just want to see some more sim racing, click subscribe. I would really appreciate it. Give the video a thumbs up. I would appreciate that too. So we'll see you on the next one. I'll probably be streaming. I'll definitely be streaming tomorrow night, Wednesday, the 1st of April. Maybe I won't. Maybe I won't. But I will be streaming the day after. Okay, 2nd of April, 8 o'clock. Okay, right. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you can take something from this and get quicker. And if you see me on track, just give me a shout. Right, take care, guys.